Hi, this is Ed Crowe. Thanks for joining me today. We're going to go over marketing money requests. What that means is obviously during prior to AP and sometimes even during the year during SEP, there's various ways that agents can get marketing money to help offset their marketing costs. The process to request that money is sometimes confusing, so I'm just going to run through it today. So what we're going to talk about are the sources of money, meaning the Crowe lead program, carriers that send money to us to be given to agents and agencies to help offset marketing, and then money that's available from agent managers. So general review, I'm not going to get too carrier specific, but hopefully this will help navigate for you the areas you can go and the channels you can use to get marketing money to offset your Medicare marketing. We're also going to talk about how to request that money, so what you need to do, what the carrier's expectations are, and then what happens if you don't meet those expectations. This webinar will be short. I want to have it run about 10 minutes. I'm going to put it on YouTube. And if you want to look at our videos, we have hundreds of them up there on various topics. It's just youtube.com Crowe and Associates or at Crowe Medicare. That will get you to our channel and you can watch all the videos there. So let's start with the sources of money. The first one is the Crowe Lead Program. This is a program we've had for about 6 years. It's ongoing. It is available to any agent that qualifies, and to qualify, you don't have to do much. You basically have to have your Medicare carriers with us. Your active Medicare contracts have to be with us. If they are, you qualify for this program. So we provide $500 per agent per month towards costs associated to leads and marketing. So leads, advertising, and marketing. We won't reimburse stamps. That's one thing I should say, stamps and membership fees. Other than that, though, we'll reimburse most things. So you can buy leads from any source you want, whether they be online leads, phone leads, mailers, inbound call volume, costs associated with Google AdWords, Facebook. If it's going to generate Medicare, we'll reimburse it for you. Advertising, billboards, newspaper ads, any kind of general marketing that is geared towards Medicare sales, we will reimburse. But again, we won't reimburse stamps or membership fees for things like if somebody wants to do, I don't know, needs to pay their annual fee towards a marketing group or something like that. That's not reimbursable. If you are going to do mail, use a vendor. Instead of sending the mail out on your own, since we won't reimburse the cost of stamps, use one of the vendors out there. There's plenty of them. You've got Lead Concepts, Target Leads, Leading Response. There's a bunch. We can fill you in if you need some names. Once you send us your paid receipt, we will reimburse you 100% of your cost up to $500 a month. For the first 6 months, and the clock starts when you take your first reimbursement. For the first 6 months, it's 100%. After that, it's 50% ongoing, but still up to $500 paid to you. So in other words, at that point, you need to spend $1,000 to get the $500 out of us every month. Got to have your active Medicare contracts with us, as I mentioned, and the receipts you send us must be paid. They got to be paid receipts. You can't just send us invoices. We reimburse 2 times per month. So you have multiple opportunities every month to get this in, and you'll get paid quickly. We also reimburse 50% of the cost towards educational seminars or AEP educational meetings. Often we use, in our agents, use Leading Response for that, but if you've got another vendor you like, that's fine. We do a lot of educational T65s and educational AEP meetings, and we'll reimburse you 50% of the cost for that for the first one. We are averaging about 55 people a meeting, so it's a great way to generate business. Okay, in the sake of just moving through this quickly and making it short. So what about when the carrier sends money to us, meaning Pinnacle or Crowe? Not all of them do it, for example. UHC doesn't, as an example, but a number of them do. And they will send us money as marketing money to be distributed to the agents that have expenses that are going to market to sell their plan. They'll send it to us. Sometimes we have money during SEP, and often we have it during AEP. So you'd want to send us an email to request access to this money, explaining the following. Tell us what you're spending the money on, meaning what kinds of leads, marketings, maybe it's meetings, whatever it is. You tell us what you're spending it on and the amount. The carrier that you're going to write. Remember, we're giving this money to you on behalf of a carrier. So if you send us a request, you've got to be specific about what carrier you're going to write. How many apps you're going to write as a result. Meaning if a carrier is going to give you money, they're going to want to see apps as a result of that. Even though that money is coming via us, it's still being tracked. So as a result, say somebody sends an email saying they're spending $5,000. We can give you, say, $3,000, and let's say you are going to write Humana. You need to let us know, okay, here's the carrier I'm going to write using this program. It's going to be my lead carrier. And if they give you $3,000, they are looking for an app for about every $125 they give you. So in my example here, you get $3,000 reimbursed. You're going to have to write about 24 apps minimum to keep them happy. They don't know where it's coming from. Quite frankly, they don't care. So if you're writing other ancillary or incidental apps with them, it all counts. And again, they expect an app for about every $125 of their money we give out. You will need to send in paid receipts to get reimbursed. And we often have this money during SEP. Even we have a couple carriers where we have SEP money now that can be allocated, and we almost always get it during AEP. So the first source, just to go back, was money from the carriers that they send to us to distribute to the agents. The first source actually was Crowe's lead program, then money the carriers send to us to distribute. And then the third one are money that is sent only through the broker managers, but we'll get that in a minute. I'm talking over my slides. So when you get money from the carriers, just staying on that theme for a minute, keep in mind Medicare supplements and PDP apps don't count. This money is being allocated for MA sales, MA and MAPD sales. I get a lot of agents say, yeah, but I wrote a lot of supplements. Quite frankly, they don't care. So when we're trying to meet that minimum, it's for Medicare Advantage. That email you put together, you should send to your sales director here at Crowe or Pinnacle. So for us, it's Stephanie Taylor or Serena Bugren. Or if you want, you can email that request to our office, edward@croweandassociates.com. And if I remembered what my slides were, I would have not jumped ahead, but anyway, bear with me. Here's an example of what that email might look like. Very simple. I'd like to request marketing money. I'll stick with the Humana theme. I'd like to request marketing money from Humana for costs associated with T65 seminars that I'm doing. Total cost of my seminars will be $5,000, and I plan to write 24 apps via this program. Well, just doing the math quickly, that'd be good for about $3,000 if there's that much money available. But remember, if you're spending $10,000, and maybe we can give you 5 or 6 or 7 of the money, and you say, well, I'm only going to write 10 or 15 or 20 or 30 apps, we can't give you $5 or $6 or $7,000. It's not enough apps. $125 per app. Keep in mind, you got to send us paid receipts. If you don't write the minimum amount of apps, or at least close to that number, in all likelihood, you're not going to be able to get money from that carrier in the future. So they're not going to ask for the money back necessarily, but in fact, they're not going to ask you for it back. But if you want money from them to help offset costs in the future, it's going to be hard to get it. If you came close to the number, they'll work with you. If you just absolutely airballed on the thing, probably not going to happen. And again, as I mentioned before, the more you're going to spend, the more you potentially can get. But whatever you're getting, divide by 125, because that's the number of apps they're going to be looking for. All right, so finally to the slide I got screwed up with and was talking about earlier. All right, carrier money from the agent managers. Some carriers do not give us money for AP, SEP, or any time. A good example of that is United Healthcare. United Healthcare distributes marketing money through their broker managers. Some carriers do both. Some carriers will give us money to distribute to agents, and there's even money available through the broker manager as well. So some do both. But the carriers that, either way, the carriers that only do it through the agent managers or the carriers that do both, it all aims to the importance of a good relationship with the agent managers for the companies. And a relationship's important. A good one, though, is really important. So they can have access to money if you're writing their plan and you have a good relationship with them. It's a relationship business we're in. They also, the agent managers now have access to various retail locations. Pretty much all the companies now have maybe pharmacies, grocery stores, a lot of them have various locations, and those agent managers are the ones who control those and can help you get into those locations. One thing I bring up a lot, insurance companies do things to make us mad all the time. The tendency is to take it out on the agent manager. That's the person you're talking to. I would strongly suggest against that. Take it out on somebody else. You want to keep a solid relationship with that carrier manager, so you might be eligible to get marketing money from them so they can help you with retail. It's important. So next time you get really mad at an insurance company, think twice before you take it out on the carrier manager, and that happens a lot more than you would think. In fact, it happens the majority of the time. So don't fall into that trap. That's it. Wanted to keep it short and sweet. Thank you for joining me. I really appreciate it. If you have not already, get certified to sell our UHC IES&P plan. It has tremendous benefits. It's a 5-star plan. It can be sold to people with drug help, people without anything. It may be available to people who don't have drug help, that are just regular people on MA plans. You have to qualify for the plan by having IADLs, but they're pretty broad. So I think you'll find that a lot of people can qualify for it. And again, from a benefit standpoint, especially in the northern states, it's a no-brainer. The benefits are just far superior. Make sure to look at the first looks for 2024. They're on the Pinnacle website. I should probably put it on there, pfsinsurance.com. You go to the agent toolkit, and all the first looks are on there. And the first looks are important because that way you can plan your AEP and plan what plans and figure out what plans are going to be strong in your area for 2024. So again, pfsinsurance.com, click on the agent toolkit, scroll down, you'll see all the first looks. Be on the lookout for a Sunfire demo. We're going to do that. As you know, or likely know, Crowe offers both Connecture and Sunfire. Sunfire has a lot of great features: call recording, voice scope, voice enrollment. It's easy to use. So we're going to do demos on that. I'll put it up on YouTube so you can see how to do a call and record it. Be compliant. You can do a voice scope. You can do a voice signature. You can also text or email it if you want. And we're even going to do, for those agents that want, we'll do screen shares and run-throughs of using Sunfire Connecture. I would lean towards Sunfire at this point, though, because of their voice signature and voice scope capabilities. But we'll do demos for you for that. It records the calls, keeps the recording for you, keeps the scope, keeps the client information, the drug information, the doctor information. It is a CRM, so it's very efficient to use. And that is it. I appreciate you coming on today. If you have any questions, call us at the office. You can see the number there, 203-796-5403. And I hope everybody has a wonderful day. Thank you.